3 awesome AI tools from Google. The first one is NotebookLM. NotebookLM is a personalized note-taking and AI assistant product. You start by creating a notebook, uploading some documents, whether it's PDF, text files, or even web pages. Let's say, for example, I'm learning how to program in Python, so I go over to OpenStax where I can get a free book on Python programming. I upload the PDF here in NotebookLM, and once it's loaded, I am immediately presented with an AI-generated summary of the content. On the right-hand side here, I have some suggested questions I can ask based on the contents of the document. There are also a couple of suggested things I can generate with AI, for instance, a study guide, which will give me a series of questions for me to practice my understanding of the content, along with all the right answers, which are all extracted from the document. It even generates some essay questions that I can use for studying. Any generated content, by the way, also becomes a note that I can select and start asking questions about. So I can, for instance, ask Gemini to help me test my knowledge by asking me questions from the study guide, one at a time, in an interactive fashion. This is a very interesting and powerful way to study some material. So here you ask me what is a Python string and how are strings represented in code. I give an answer, and now it's explaining from the material what a Python string is. If I click on Notebook Guide, I get all the suggestions here again. Let's try this time to generate a briefing document. And here what I get are key takeaways and short summaries of the contents of the book. And this is a really good way of having an overview of what the book is covering and all the important points in each of the chapters. Now, obviously, you're not limited to just generating these types of contents. You can also freely ask any questions that you want about this document. For example, here I asked Gemini to explain list comprehensions, which is a Python concept. It generated an explanation here with a lot of details and examples, and very importantly, it included the citations to where in the document these explanations and answers are coming from. You can also pin a response to turn it into a note for later studying it. And one last thing that I'll show here is that you can select a note and also ask Gemini to, for example, suggest related ideas, create an outline, critique, or help you understand it further. So that's it for NotebookLM, and yes, it is a free product and you should use it. Okay, the second one is AI Test Kitchen, which is not actually a tool, but a collection of tools that use generative AI across different modalities, including video, images, music, and text. Let's start with TextFX. This is very useful for people who do a lot of writing. Here you can do stuff like create a phrase using letters of a given word, alliterations, chains, so sequence of words where each word relates to the last one. You can explode by creating phrases that sound similar to a given word. So let's give this one a go here. For example, if I type dogs, then I get dogs as in belonging to the dog. So that one is not particularly creative. There are other options here like fuse, so find similarities between unrelated things. So let's go with this example here. So coding and poetry. And now we got some text here explaining how coding and poetry can be associated with the idea of communication and language, etc. A couple of other things here. So PLV, evaluate a topic from different points of view. So for example, let's pick the topic of AI. And now we see AI is a threat to humanity. AI is going to be the downfall of humanity. AI is going to be used to create dystopian society. So very negative perspective. And then we have more positive perspective here. AI is going to be used to create the perfect society and so on. We also have scene, so generate sensory details about a scene. So you can pick any scenario here or scene. So for example, a first date. And then we have a blush, a knot in your stomach, a nervous laugh. So you can see how this could be useful for people who do creative writing or even nonfiction writing. So unexpected things unfold, identify words and phrases that contain a given word. So lots of tools here to play with. Let's do one last demo here of the unfold capability with the word star. And we got 5-star hotel, all-star, all-star game. Alright, the next one is Music FX, which is a generative music tool. So here we can type any kind of input to how we want our music to sound. So for example, a gentle acoustic guitar on a rainy day would sound like this. That was actually quite nice. Now we can also change here some auto-generated variations of what we prompted. So for instance, if we change this to a ukulele on a sunny day, and for good measure, let's maybe add happy vibe. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea. There are a couple of settings here, like the seed, the track length, and whether to enable looping. There's also a DJ mode you can enable up here, and this will give you a mixer so that you have some controls over the generation of the music. Yeah, it doesn't help that I'm no DJ myself. So that's it for AI Test Kitchen. The next one is Multimodal Canvas, and this is a new and really nice and powerful tool similar to the project Astra that was presented in Google I/O. Here, for instance, I can draw an object and ask Gemini to identify what it is. And in this case, it correctly identified it as a guitar. Here's another example of a snowman, really poorly drawn, but Gemini identified it as a snowman. But there are more things you can do too. You can add emojis to your drawings. And here, if I ask what time of the year it is, it says winter. You can then also add an image or a video, in which case you will stream the video from your webcam. You can also share your screen with the share screen button here. So for instance, here I'm sharing a web page that is displaying an error. I can highlight the error with the pencil here and ask about what kind of error this is and what the cause could be. Gemini is giving me an explanation here about 404 errors. So a really nice tool that you can use, and it also works on mobile. So here, for example, I'm using my mobile phone in my apartment and I'm streaming the video from the camera, and here I'm asking about the breed of my cat, and it correctly identified it as a ragdoll. Then I also ask where am I, and it found that I am in a bathroom. There's a toilet, a shower, and a bath mat. And finally I ask what is this thing over here for. The Gemini correctly says it's a robot vacuum cleaner. Really cool stuff. Now, lastly, I want to mention this website, which you might want to bookmark if you want to be aware of the latest and greatest in terms of tools released by Google. It's labs.google, and here you can see all of the tools that I mentioned and more. So for example, there is also image generation, code assistance, food recipe generation, and a lot more stuff going on here. So it really is the right place to go find everything that Google is cooking in terms of AI. And I'll end with this image of a cat eating a burrito. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.